I visited Romania, as you know, several months ago to meet with opponents of the deep state there. It's important to note that the intelligence services in Romania, which they refer to locally as the secret services, and their broad anti-corruption apparatus is largely and heavily controlled by George Soros and his allies. The United States Embassy in Bucharest is controlled by George Soros. I have seen with my own eyes that they have refused to put up the official portrait of the President of the United States in the U.S. Embassy in Bucharest. The Romanian secret services are analogous to our own deep state, and they were heavily invested in the election of Hillary Clinton. Now, here's the newsworthy part. FBI Director James Comey made several mysterious trips to Romania prior to this hacking. What those trips were about, we don't exactly know, but I am researching this aggressively for InfoWars, and we will have a special report on it shortly.
Well, that's very interesting. Right now, it lists the names of two of the people who were arrested in Romania. Mihai Izvanka and Evelyn Kismaru were arrested in Romania earlier this month, along with three other Romanian hackers who will face prosecution in Europe. The U.S. charges filed under a seal of December 11th were first reported by CNN. So they face up to 20 years in prison if convicted, and essentially they took over 123 of the department's 187 outdoor surveillance cameras, leaving them unable to record for several days, which, if somebody was planning something like planting a bomb or anything like that, any type of malfeasance during the lead up to the inauguration, they would not have been able to utilize those surveillance cameras during that time period. So it'll be interesting to see who they were in contact with, if anyone, from the United States. Like you mentioned, seems like James Comey made a trip there right before this happened. That is very interesting. Very interesting to a man who runs around quoting Bible verses on Twitter now.
I would suggest to you that the people arrested are patsies, that they are people being utilized by the secret services there, and we need to dig into what Mr. Comey was doing in Romania. I believe that he makes more than one trip during the Obama presidency, but the purposes of those trips are undisclosed. Rob, this just in from The Hill. A tweet by Hillary Clinton says that it's crazy to believe that the FBI is out to get Donald Trump. Now, this comes from a woman who writes in her book, What Happened, that Roger Stone is a bizarre character. I'm bizarre? This is a woman who mothers a daughter with Webster Hubble and claims that it's Bill's daughter. This is a woman who banishes Bill's legitimate, natural-born son, Danny Williams. This is a woman who lies repeatedly about her email. This is a woman whose crimes are exposed days before the election in a score of hundreds of thousands of emails in the possession of Huma Abedin. Who's crazy Hillary? You're crazy Hillary. And when it comes to her shrewd powers of observation, I put her up there with Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder. You would have to be an imbecile not to see the rank partisanship of the FBI, the activities of Peter Strzok, and the naked partisanship of the Get Trump squad as organized under Mr. Mueller and as conducted by Mr. Comey and Mr. McCabe.
That is exactly true. And if you look at her book, that's all she does is blame the FBI. So the FBI was totally against her, even though we have texts from Peter Strzok talking about insurance policies that they have to have in case Trump gets in. You know, like if you die before you're 40, I believe, as the text read, as he was texting his lover. So that is very, very interesting that now Hillary Clinton is back from out of the woods. I guess she's done hiking, and now she's talking. There it is. Wall Street Journal, Russian investigation was insurance policy mentioned in stroke texts. There it is right there. You can read the whole article on Infowars.com.
And from the Wall Street Journal, not from an alt-right publication, but from a bona fide mainstream media outlet. Look, Hillary Clinton's notion that the FBI was against her is hard to square with the fact that it was Peter Strzok who changed the language in their final report regarding her illegal email server so that she could evade prosecution, changing it from to carelessness from criminal negligence, in essence. So, yes, there was an FBI bias. Hillary's right about that. That bias was for Hillary Clinton and against Donald Trump. And the overwhelming evidence demonstrates that that is the case.
Speaking of evidence, I have the lawsuit that Roy Moore filed, which it seems like the judge has thrown it out, and they are going to just anoint Doug Jones as the senator. But going through this, he definitely has a case.
Programs that can be used to secretly fix elections.
Yes.
How do you know that to be the case?
Because in October of 2000, I wrote a prototype for President Congressman Tom Feeney at the company I worked for in Oviedo, Florida, that did just that.
And when you say did just that, it would rig an election?
It would flip the vote 51-49 to whoever you wanted it to go to and whichever race you wanted to win.
And would that program that you designed be something that elections officials that might be on county boards of elections could detect?
They'd never see it.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.